Okay, recapping some of the film from Saturday. Offensively, there was some things that we had a chance to move the ball. We did a good job of that and on a lot of drives, but obviously came down to still executing, finishing. 13 points isn't going to be enough. We got to be able to finish on that end. Defensively, starting point. There's not a lot there that you're loving. Good offense, no question, but we've got to make it harder on them. Some of that you think about third downs. We had a couple, especially early, third and longer, to get off the field. Didn't do it, and so we got a lot to work on there defensively from that one. Special teams, really, there wasn't a lot there tape-wise, the amount of snaps, the amount of times teams were punting. I was pleased with Martin coming in and finishing with a kick that, as we go through the season, kicks are going to be more and more important, and so that what stood out. But we all know what this week is. Huge rivalry week, which is great things. Again, one of the best things about college football. This game being the most meaningful game on our schedule. We did flip the switch pretty quickly yesterday as a team, digested some of the things from the film, and then move forward. This game means a ton to our players, but also former players, the program. You think about alumni, all of it. It's a very important, meaningful game, and so that creates a huge opportunity for us, especially kind of where we're at with things. This season hasn't gone our way. All those things, I think it comes at a good time to galvanize this group and have a great week of work getting ready for Saturday night. Questions?
Jonathan over here. What did you learn last year? I think you talked about it after the game. Like you knew going into it meant something, but after the game you said this thing's different. I guess what did you learn about it in that experience that you didn't know going in?
Yeah, I think living the experience and the passion of it, of the actual game, lead up and post, all of I learned that going in. I think about the preparation of using more of that fuel, that passion for our preparation, and then obviously playing with it within a disciplined approach. In football, it comes down to doing your job at a high level. So we want to foster a lot of that fuel to be able to play our best.
Hey Jonathan, when you going into Bloomington, a team that at the time is ranked number 3 in the country, I think no matter what program you are, you can look at that and see there's some things to be gained from that. Just from your eyesight, what were some things that you picked up on, even the culture around there being such a top-rated team that you could just noticeably speak to?
Yeah, I think they're a really good team, no question, and I do think really good teams expose even your smallest flaws and make you play with great technique and play with, you got to be able to tackle in the open field, and if you're not with great technique and leverage that, it gets exposed against good teams. Look at the line of scrimmage, that defensive line. They move and are active, and so if your hands aren't in the right spot, all of that, so they can get exposed, and you want to learn from. They're doing it at a high level, and they're creating issues for their opponents, and we want to work on that.
I'm wondering, for you as a coach, you hear a lot about steadiness of who you are. How much, especially when it comes to a rivalry, either previous rivalries you were part of as a player or coach, or this one, how much is it just not stepping away from who you are, and how much of it is maybe buying into that fuel and passion that you talked about?
Yeah, I do. It's, rivalries, they're all not the same, right? They're across the country and all of those things. And so for this particular one, I really felt like galvanizing that fuel, that energy, that focus, that passion behind it, boiling that into our preparation, using that in our play, but not well out of bounds to where it's hurting us. We want it to help us.
What about for you individually as a coach? I mean, steering the ship as a steady captain, or kind of spiking a little bit?
Well, like I'm getting at in regards to the way I message the team and organize this team, this particular Saturday is going to be different in the messaging approach than any other Saturday we play with.
Go back to that question about what you learned last year from your first experience in this. Did it surprise you? Because there was a couple of days later you said, I had no idea what the intensity of this was like. Can you reflect on that a little more, and what exactly you found out about it?
I don't know about surprised, but I can feel still bitter taste in your mouth after that one, after experiencing it. I'm talking particularly in the 60 minutes of it, opportunities we had, we didn't execute, but when I hear to recap the game, being in that environment, leaves a bad taste in your mouth that has not gone away.
Jonathan, I was wondering, you said after the game something happened to Malik that you hadn't seen. Is there an update on him?
Not a long-term thing. I haven't gotten this afternoon, we'll get a final for like tomorrow's Tuesday practice, but was told that this isn't some long-term event.
And then some of the not season-ending guys, but some of the longer-term guys, Stanton, Alante, Hayek, any of those guys are getting any closer?
They're getting closer, but it'll still be toward the end of the week to know for certain.
You also mentioned a little bit earlier about the discipline of the moment. These two teams, there aren't many penalties. Like you're among like the least penalized team. How in a rivalry situation, playing with discipline, how do you kind of maybe coach that approach, and how do you kind of keep that from, maybe the tempers from flaring in some ways?
Yeah, talk about it. Again, that's where this balancing act, yes, emotional game means more this week, no question. At the same time, it still comes down to playing your best, doing what's best for the team to help us win the game. And so that's playing through the echo of the whistle, not well past it. Keeping our focus on the job at hand, what I'm going to do contributing to a win versus holding us back from a loss, and those kind of conversations.
You had to guess how many.
A big environment for the rivalry, sort of capturing that juice that it could maybe turn quick.
Well, yeah, we need our crowd, because that is difference. We talk about my experience last year. Well, this is a different experience. But Spartan Stadium, we need our crowd into it to impact the game. We're counting on that, and then we want to do our part to put a good product out there of this game. It's going to be highly competitive and all that. Needed for 4 quarters, our play and our crowd.
John, when you look at the matchup on the field, how important will both run games be? What do they do well in the run game? How do you guys try to get yours going?
Yeah, I think the matchup is huge. Line of scrimmage for both sides, whether offense or defense. They have shown to have an effective run game, and that is something that we got to be able to answer to and go up to. Look on back our side of things, line of scrimmage. They've affected the passer, running the ball against them, and that'll be a huge part of this game.
And John, what are the differences you see in them offensively from a year ago? Obviously, you have a quarterback, running back that's obviously been successful. And what kind of tweaks do you see?
There's differences. I think there's different play caller and different quarterback skill sets creates differences than last year. Just going off the last game or two. I think last week, you looked at them, they had some balance offensively, so there's some differences.
You've obviously been part of it as a player, coach at Oregon State with Oregon. What is the value of experience in a rivalry as a quarterback? Obviously Aiden was in it last year, and their guy has not been in it yet. What is the value when it gets to that game?
Yeah, I think there's definitely value in experience and again, rivalry, the emotions into it, all of that. And so playing into the second time going through it, there's, depending on how much value it is what you learn and what you do better than you did the first time out.
Jonathan, is there stuff when you look at tape that you see out the opportunities to create more turnovers? I think it's only 5 for the season, and what do you guys have to do practice-wise to try and ramp that number up? With so few possessions that you get in the game nowadays.
We definitely emphasize it throughout the week. It's again, I go back to being in those right spots with right technique. Opportunity that will come. Physical tackles. Look at turnovers again the last couple of years nationally. Oftentimes the way to get turnovers around the quarterback, whether you're affecting him and that kind of thing. And so we're going to keep on working at that, and we want to create that because we do. We need to change the game with some turnovers.
When you went back and looked at the tape, obviously there's some shuffling on the offensive line that you've had. How did you feel that group played? Because it looked like early they were getting some traction for you guys, and particularly the long, lengthy drives that you were able to create.
Yeah, we wanted. I thought we showed some longer drives, started to lean on them. We were on edges some of the time, no question. Especially the pass pro or the movement in the run game. I thought those guys battled a good defensive front, but we want to play better to be able to score more than 13 points.
Jonathan, tackling was a big problem again Saturday. What do you do about that? You can't tackle a lot in practice, but Haynes and Marshall are gonna break a lot of tackles.
Yeah, it starts with, the leverage we want to play with, being in your right spot to maintain that leverage. It's not, you not always want one-on-one tackles now. We not to be able to play with great leverage, begin the tackle and get the party coming to them. That showed up a couple of times. We didn't have enough guys getting in the spot. Some of it because we're playing with poor leverage and the ball's going somewhere where it shouldn't have gone. When we go to a one-on-one tackle, we got to do a better job of going lower. We're playing good athletes, big bodies. You go high on tackles, you're going to bounce off. Some of the time we had some of that show up too.
Jonathan, right or wrong, there are Michigan State fans who feel if they lost every game and beat Michigan, it would be a successful season. Crazy as that sounds. With where your season is and having lost 4 straight, can a victory Saturday make your season?
Look, I know it can change our season, no question. One, just winning a game, but this game, what it means in this state, no question. That's why it's the most meaningful game of the year.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Coach.